Hey, what is up guys, this is Cobb, and welcome to the account of Mr. Curious Sage. He's about 3.5 months into this raid account. He's already got a sweet, juicy little roster going, to be honest, with a fully maxed out, fully booked up ninja, and the builds look honestly pretty good on this account, so I won't be tweaking a whole lot of builds in one of these takeovers for once, which is kinda nice. What we're going to be doing in this one is going to be helping out Mr. Sage to get to stage 20 across all dungeons. What is the Cold Heart doing in the Master Vault, man? No wonder we can't get to stage 20 in all of the dungeons. So let's take a look at where we are in each of the dungeons right now. I believe he did say that we were able to push up to like stage 25 and beyond in Dragon, so that's pretty much solved. We're struggling just to get over the line in Ice Golem's Peak, and I'm pretty sure I can help out there. If we just check out the team that we're running here. Okay. The Gorgrab, the Deacon. The Gorgrab might be a little bit of a mismatch there. The key with Ice Golem's Peak is to kind of temper your damage a little bit and focus more on survivability, but Spider's Den looks to be quite the struggle as well. Cold Heart is going to help out a hell of a lot with that, but we'll get to that in a bit as well. That's going to be covering each of these dungeons and talking about what kind of things you need to be bringing to the table, right? Just some kind of quick fire tips and champion types that you can look to bring to the table, and also stage 18 in Fire Knight's Castle as well. So let's do this, shall we? Oh, we're also going to talk a little bit of beginner Hydra teams as well towards the end of the video. Now, one thing that does stand out to me right away on the account is that it looks to me like we're lacking a lot of AoE wave controllers, the likes of champions that can place AoE stuns and AoE provokes and AoE freezes and those kinds of things, which leads me to turn my attention right away to the Husk. I would be using this guy in almost every single team I've got going right now, just so I can guarantee wave control, right? He brings a provoke on the A1 with a double hitter, and he brings a good chance to stun, at least when bucked up on his A2. I'd be getting this Husk bucked up as quickly as humanly possible, and bro, I've just looked at his in-game reviews as well. What the hell is this talking about, man? How can these in-game reviews be so inaccurate, man? Husk is great almost everywhere in the game. Like, what the hell are we talking about, man? These reviews make him look like a piece of crap. Yeah, he's going to be absolutely S tier for us getting to stage 20 in Spider's Den, straight up. He deals... I mean, his stuns are going to help to control the spiderlings. He deals damage based on enemy max HP, so he's going to be smacking the boss for a very, very, very solid amount of damage. Christ, I mean, even into Fire Knight, like, he's at least got a double hitter on the A1, and he's going to get us through the waves, you know, that we could just focus the rest of the team on taking care of the Fire Knight boss. Yeah, having at least one champion in these dungeoneering teams that can just control the waves and get you to the boss is crucial as well, and Husk is also going to be integral to us getting started into Hydra for the first time as well, because again, AoE hitter that's dealing damage based on enemy max HP, he's going to be great. Like, this champion must be built out, and how we have him built out currently is fine. He doesn't actually have any increased crit chance from his masteries, so we're gonna have to bear that in mind as well. But he's currently right now lacking a lot of accuracy, so he's not able to actually land any of his stuns. We rolled in a crit on a lot of his items, which is great, but it's actually this weapon right here that I want to draw attention to. Attack percentage. Oi, 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 oi. Yeah, attack percentage on Husk isn't doing anything for us. He's HP based champion, HP based damage dealer, and so attack percent is really not doing anything for us. So I'm going to take a quick swing at just revamping Husk's build real quick. Okay, so I just got confirmation from Curious Sage that I'm allowed to move around some of his items that are on his other champs currently. He's not actually using Frozen Banshee right now in his Demon Lord Clan Boss team, so I'm going to go ahead and take her banner, and this is the new build that we're going to have on the Husk. We actually gain a little bit of HP, which is great. We lose a little bit of that pointless attack percentage stat. His speed is still great. His crit rate will be 98% when we just have that extra 5% crit from masteries. 98%, good enough, you know, more crit damage, and most importantly, that all important accuracy. And obviously why I can't do it, I can't do this right now in this account takeover. We do have enough epic skill tomes, it looks like, to try and fully book this Husk up during the next personal rewards CVC, which by the time this video goes up, you know, might be like 4 or 5 days from now or something. So yeah. that should be something that you do, Mr. Curious Sage. Next up, man, let's talk dungeon teams. But before we do, if you're looking to get involved in this series yourself, make sure to go ahead and join my Discord server, which is down below in the video description box. And there you can actually submit your account for Takeover to have a chance at appearing in the series. And if you really want to max up your chances of appearing in the series, make sure to start your new raid account using my beginner promo link down below at the top of the video description box, man. Hit that link, use it to download raid. You'll start with your new account with free 4 epic champions, and at that point it's the least I can do to help, you know, do an account takeover for your account, and make sure you're getting off to a great start, you know, once you're like a month or two in using that link, man. Okay, let's dip into the vault real quick because we got some champions here that I kind of want to pull out and play around with a little bit. Runekeeper Desdic is a great support champion with some debuff removal. Tyrell could potentially be used. Stagnite is great into almost all dungeons, just for the crazy amount of good debuffs that he brings. Armiger also. Cold Heart is absolutely integral. And for someone who's stuck as well on Fire Knight, oh my god, we are sitting on the answer to normal mode Fire Knight right here with Allure. So a lot of this is going to be, a lot of these are going to be champions that we can't use right now, because frankly the Cold Heart being level 40 isn't going to be that much help to us. But we have some amazing answers to dungeons right here. I'm pretty sure that right away, just taking Cold Heart up to level 60 as quickly as possible on this account will just guarantee that we can take on Spider 20 very easily and Fire Knight 20 very easily. Just with the Cold Heart alone. Okay, we might also need the Allure as well to come in clutch with 10 meter control against the Fire Knight boss. Just because their A1 is so unbelievable, right? Attack 3 times random, decrease target's 10 meter by a massive 25% on each crit. So as long as she has 100% crit or near enough and like 200 accuracy, you just disable all of our other skills against the final boss in Fire Knight and just have her spam the A1 constantly, and you're good. Like, that's all your 10 meter control kind of taken care of just by the one champion, and then you've got Cold Heart absolutely smacking the boss, decreasing 10 meter as well, and also dealing that max HP damage. Alright, man, so let's start things off with good old Ice Golem's Peak. So what kind of tools do you want to be bringing to Ice Golem's Peak? Usually, well, increased defense buffs, very good. Ally protect buffs can be very good. Decrease attack debuffs against the boss are going to be huge. You're going for survivability and stayability, right? You just got to live. If you're killing off the boss too quickly and you're focusing on things like decreasing the boss's defense or smacking the boss with like Cold Heart's max HP damage and that kind of thing, the boss is going to counterattack a hell of a lot and is going to smack the taste out of your mouth, okay? So it's just about taking it slow and steady into Ice Golem. Right away, I see we have 2 increased attack champions right here in Seeker. Most of the other team is kind of fine, to be honest. What I would do straight away is put Vegas in the lead because he brings an increased defense aura for the team. And we're probably going to go ahead and drop the Seeker. Now you might say, oh well, the boss actually ignores defense when it counterattacks in, and so the Vegas's aura doesn't mean anything. But if you're killing off the adds before you trigger the boss's counterattack, then it loses that kind of armor penetration effect, you know, and the defense will actually still function just fine. What's really important is not to trigger the boss's counterattack when there are 2 adds left alive, because then, yeah, it's going to ignore 100% of your defense. Which, again, this is why you want to take things steady, generally, against this boss. And so Stagnite could come in instead of the Seeker, because he brings the decreased attack debuff. And perhaps to help us clear through the waves a little bit faster as well. Also, Poisons are pretty good against Ice Golem as well, because if you deal if it's poison damage that takes the boss below 80% and then 60% and then 45% health, you actually don't trigger the boss's counterattack. And so poison can actually completely circumvent this passive counterattack skill right here. But also, if we're going to be swapping out Seeker and Deacon Armstrong, then we probably need ways to kill the waves a little bit faster as well. And so Kale should do fine. So I'm just going to run this team real quick and just see where we end up. I'll just basically skip over it for you guys because this is stage 18. We've already done stage 18 before on this account, so we should be able to clear this without too many problems. Then we're going to try the push for stage 20. Okay, and we make it through, but the Stagnite is dying because he's level 50, and I'm pretty sure it's also because he has a accuracy chest piece equipped in order to be meeting his accuracy checks. Yeah, the Stagnite being level 60 is going to be kind of a big deal. Ideally, we've got like a HP percentage or whatever here. Defense percentage gloves, HP percentage chest, that kind of deal going. I wonder if we can just fix that real quick right now. Okay, this chest piece looks a hell of a lot better, man. Obviously, we're still lacking a bit of accuracy here, but there's not really so much we can do about that until he's level 60 or a 6,000 can actually get a banner equipped. But yeah, this chest piece is going to be much, much better for us, man. Again, we drop a little bit of accuracy in order to do this, but all in all, the stat rolls on this are fine to go ahead and switch this one in. We can also bolster up defense here a little bit. I think the shield is worth taking up to 12. Just calls for. Oh my god, man, triple speed roll. Oh, yo, 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 yo. That shield is definitely worth keeping for a little while. So I am just setting up the team here again, an Ice Golem, and I am tinkering with the AI of the team just a little bit. This could be a good idea if you're kind of struggling to get through the waves and have the correct abilities ready in time to go into the boss. So we're not going to allow the ninja to use his freeze on the first wave. We're just going to rely on just killing that with nukes, right, with Kale's damage and that kind of thing. And then on the second wave, I want the ninja to open with his freeze so we can control that second wave very, very easily, because give us a little bit of trouble last time. Equally, I don't want Stagnite to be using his decrease attack, decrease defense debuff on that second wave. We want him to have that ready going in to use on the boss and just using that straight away. I'll also point out as well that this Stagnite is not booked out, and so it's a 4-turn cooldown and it's not a 100% land rate, decrease attack, decrease defense, and so it's not ideal. Ideally, we'd have the Stagnite fully booked out, because frankly, again, we could be using him in quite a few of these dungeons, man. So once again, I'll see you guys at the boss, and let's see how this does. All right, here we go, man. This time, Stagnite actually does get his decrease attack up against the boss this time, which is great. So as long as we're killing off the ads before we trigger the boss's big old counterattack, we should be fine. Should we point out as well that Kale actually died on the way to the boss. Thankfully, Gorgrab's revive was able to come in clutch, pick him back on up. So the Stagnite and the Kale look to be the very, very squishy champs on this team. Frankly, the Kale can eventually be replaced with something like a decreased defense style champ, or just like a defensive nuker, somebody who can just not have the, you can not just die constantly. That'd be lovely. It's actually the Stagnite that's doing just fine now. Once again, lands that all-important strong decrease attack debuff, and so this time, when the boss actually counterattacks into us, like I'm imagining he's going to get done in just a second, we're going to be just fine. There it is. Big old counterattack comes in, and we're totally fine, man. So the decrease attack debuff right now is enough to get the job done. Now, again, it's not 100% land rate on the Stagnite, so this is not going to be a reliable team to get this done, to get this dungeon done, and to, like, farm this dungeon on auto or whatever. Not until the Stagnite is level 60 and is fully booked up, at least. But all right, man. As far as making do with what we've got, we clear stage 19 for the first time ever. On this account, so that's pretty good. Let's see if we can push it all the way up now to stage 20. Let's just have a pop at it, man. I'll cut straight to the boss fight for this one. All right, here we go. Now, regrettably, I've already noticed that the Stagnite, he was saving his A2 for this moment. He's gonna go down straight away. It doesn't matter, he'll get revived, but he failed to land his decreased attack this time. That's partially because he's not booked. It's partially because he's lacking accuracy. It might have just resisted. I actually didn't quite catch it. But yeah, he needs about 40 more accuracy and needs to be fully booked up, you know, in order for this to be reliable. As he just gets swatted down again, man. Thankfully, Gorgorab's revive is quite low cooldown, so he'll be back. Let's see how we do here, man. Once all is said and done, shall we? Oh my god, we might actually do it. Stagnite, god damn it, where's that A2, man? You're here for one reason, dude. Oh, he's dead again. He's here for one purpose. We actually squeak our way through stage 20, though, with this team, even though Stagnite did literally nothing on the final boss just now. So there you go, stage 20 done. Not super clean, but just by taking the Seeker out of the team and slowing things down a bit, right, removing that that extra 10 meter fill, that extra increased attack buff and stuff from the Seeker, we're able to get the job done for the most part. And if the Stagnite was lending decreased attack at 100% land rate, then this would be much more reliable. But yeah, Ice Golem's peak cleared, man. That's how we handle this. On to the next one, Spider's Den. I'm not sure we can actually do anything here, to be honest, but what we could do is at least start to like plan out a team that we can maybe think about using here in the future. So we're going to try and build out the Cold Heart a little bit here. Even though she's still just level 40, maybe we can at least get up to like stage 16 of Spider, and then with levels we can look to progress towards stage 20, because we just don't really have the levels on the Cold Heart, let's be real, to be hitting stage 20 on this takeover, man. At least, I don't think so. And so, these are the champs that we are stealing some gear from, just all up and over here. Boots and shield are coming off of the likes of Relic Keeper, etc. And we're able to hit almost the 70% crit rate that you want to hit on Cold Heart. Again, with an extra 5% from Masteries, this will get you up to basically crit cap. You only need 70% crit on Cold Heart, so that's good. The accuracy is going to be a little bit lacking. This will take us up to like stage 14 of Spider before we need to then start to get additional accessories and stuff to keep our accuracy flowing. But yeah, this is the best that we can do right now with the tools that we have available. So, gonna go ahead and slam these on. The Cold Heart is actually fully booked up at least, so that's good. She doesn't have a blessing enabled right now. I'll just set this to Phantom Touch for the time being at least. And so this is the team that we have in place to try and take on Spider. Again, the Husk not being fully booked and not having a higher land rate stun is probably going to be a bit of a problem for us taking care of the Spiderlings. But long story short, what do you actually want to be bringing in to Spider's Den? Well, you need a way to either control or consistently wipe the Spiderlings, right? In this case, we're going for kind of a mix of the two because we can do neither particularly well, right? We've got some AoE damage from Marinix, and we've got some AoE control from Husk. Max health damage is going to help you out quite a lot against the boss, and we have that in spades with Husk and Cold Heart, even though the Cold Heart is at level 40. It'll be interesting to see how she does. And then you want some 10 meter control against the boss as well, which we are bringing from Deacon Armstrong, who brings a little bit of 10 meter decrease against the boss. Cold Heart brings a bit of 10 meter decrease against the boss. I think a team worth trying here, honestly, once the Husk is like fully bugged up and he was able to land that stun much more reliably, we could probably swap out the Marinix and put an Armager in here instead. But again, the Armager is just not geared up and stuff on this account. He needs 100% crit rate and accuracy, and he can just spam the A1 against the boss and basically guarantee that the boss never gets a turn, right? He's just decreasing 10 meter all the time, but I'm just not convinced that the Husk has enough control for the Spiderlings in this setup as it stands right now. So, very patchy. Husk isn't even level 60, by the way, so let's just see how we do. We've never cleared stage 13 on this account before, so let's see how this one goes, man. So Deacon's going to land the decreased defense straight away, which is lovely. We're going to get some 10 meter fill and increase attack from the Seeker. Apparently got himself an extra turn as well. Big damage comes in from the Husk. We actually are able to wipe the Spiderlings, and then Cold Heart, for some reason, uses her A2. What are we doing here? Oh, that was actually her A1. Why the hell did she A1? Do I need to set that up in the team AI? Like, what are we talking about here, man? The Cold Heart should be using her A3 there. That makes absolutely no sense at all to me. But okay. So far, so decent. Marinix is doing a pretty okay job at killing off the Spiderlings. Oh, Cold Heart's turn comes in just now. Let's use the correct skill this time. Nearly 200,000 damage for a Cold Heart that's level 40 is not too bad, to be honest. We actually should be able to do this, man. It's the Husk's turn up next. Okay, look, because the Husk is, man, he's just going to take a while. It's going to take a while, man. And the Marinix isn't quite doing enough damage to kill off the spiders either. And so that's also a bit of a problem. We can at least decrease enemy 10 meter here on the Deacon. Is this going to be doable? Marinix is kind of out of AoEs now. But look at this, though. We've actually been able to pretty effectively control the spiders 10 meter at least. The actual boss itself. So that's quite promising. I don't think we're going to have what it takes, though, to actually do this, to actually finish this. Because the boss is going to get a huge... The boss is going to get a huge heal off in just a second, right? Yeah, then it's all going to fall apart. Okay. Yeah, I really think it's... I really think it's the Husk being bugged. That's a big problem for us. Also, we don't have a decreased speed for the Spider Queen as well. Her big one-shot is probably about to come in just now. Does this just kill us? Pretty much just kills us. Oh, hang on. Hold the phone. We actually still have this. The Husk got off his A2 again and stunned up like most of the Spiderlings. I think we are actually going to get this done just about. There it is. Okay, lovely. So we actually are able to clear the stage even if things start to fall. Oh, nice little accuracy banner. It's nice. Okay, so we actually are able to clear stage 13 for the first time on the account. Anything beyond this is just going to get progressively more and more difficult. We're going to at least stage 16, a fully booked up Husk. The team would probably look a little bit something like this once all these champions are maxed out properly and are all built properly and are all good to go. You could even switch out the Gorgorab as well for something like a Haikatoon. Haikatoon is honestly pretty goddamn good into Spider's Den because not only does she bring increased speed and 10 meter fill, but she also brings a bit of 10 meter reduction on her AoE, on her A3, and a decreased speed debuff on her A1 as well. I just don't have the Haikatoon handy right now, so we're just throwing in Gorgorab because he's fine as well. He should be able to get you up to stage 16 once these guys are maxed out. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much Spider. Next up, I'll just touch really briefly on Dragon's Lair, because you pretty much got this one solved all the way down to a stage 25 and slightly beyond. The team's looking great. Yeah. HP burners, poison damage dealers, both are fantastic against the dragon boss. I think instead of the Seeker, it seems to be a little bit of a weak link in some of these teams. Doesn't really bring a whole lot to the table. 10 meter fill and increase attack. The Gore Grabber's already bringing increased attack, and so the Seeker is definitely a weak link. I just go ahead and put the Husk in instead, because he's going to give you some extra wave control to blast your way through the waves, and of course he also deals some HP percentage damage as well, so will also speed up the kill against the boss. Not super crucial, it's a small optimization, but if you're going to be maxing out the Husk anyway, then that is something that you can consider doing. But for now, this team is totally fine. It's just a damage race against the boss, and the best way to get the boss dead is, frankly, max HP damage, poisons, HP burn, that kind of deal. And so, yeah, Dragon's Lair is one of the easier dungeons, let's be honest, man. Next up for Fire Knight, where we are sitting on a stage 18. What are we running into this, man? Okay, man, Pidgema Seeker makes his way into the team once again. Okay. So Fire Knight is, again, one of those dungeons a bit similar to Spider, where you've got to kind of specialize your champs to take care of business a little bit. I think an ideal team, based on what you've got on your account right now, actually, just the general tips into Fire Knight, again, going to be a lot of multi-hitters, of course. Any champion has like a double or a triple hitter, or even a quadruple hitter, like Cold Heart on a A1. Is going to be great for just getting rid of all of the shield stacks off of the Fire Knight. Then you want 10 meter decreases and decrease speed champions. Usually the real trick with beating Fire Knight, or like the real challenge with beating Fire Knight, is getting enough multi-hitters and 10 meter decreases on your team, and not getting stuck attacking the waves leading up to the boss forever. It's actually taking care of the waves. That's like the biggest problem for a lot of people, you know? So what would your team look like if I could just build the ideal team and just imagine that all of these guys are maxed out already? Well, it would look a bit something like this. Why would it look like this? Deacon brings a little bit of 10 meter decrease, which is great, as well as some 10 meter fill. Apothecary brings a triple hitter on his A1, which is going to plink down the boss's shield stacks very quickly indeed. He also brings 10 meter fill and increased speed for the rest of your team as well, which is just fantastic. You've got Cold Heart, because she's Cold Heart. She has a quadruple hitter on her A1, and of course that max health boss damage, that decreased 10 meter on her A3, all of that stuff is going to be amazing into Fire Knight, the same way it's amazing everywhere. She's just such an insane rare. Allure is going to be your chief 10 meter controller and basically guarantee that the boss never gets to play the game. What you're going to be doing with your Allure is literally just making it so that against the boss, you never ever want your Allure to be using any skill other than her A1. You just want to be spamming in this triple hitter at all times to constantly be decreasing the target's 10 meter by 25% on each crit, because that's her job. And then in the final spot, we've also got the Husk once again, because, yeah, we need somebody to be taking care of the waves on the way to the boss, right? He brings the provokes, he brings the AoE stuns, he's going to get you through the waves, he's actually going to get you to the boss. And then to top it off, he also has an A1 as his... he has a double hitter on his A1. And so what you want to be doing against the boss is at least making sure that he opens with his A1, because the first thing you're going to be doing, right, is just smacking the boss and, oh, wait a minute. That's Deacon Armstrong. That's Deacon Armstrong, man. Where's Husk? There he is. Okay. You want to also set his A1 to be his opener, because the boss is going to have shield stacks right away. You don't want your Husk to just waste his A2 into the boss. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. Another thing you probably want to do as well is do a similar thing with Cold Heart. You want to have it open with her quadruple hitter on her A1. You might even consider doing something like she can open with her A3 if she wants against the second wave, but then after that don't use it, so that she has it ready going into the boss, man, because it's a 410 cooldown, even fully booked up on the Heartseeker, and it's such an important skill to make sure that you get it off nice and early against the boss that this might be the way that you want to do it. But yeah, I think that that's honestly pretty much it for what the team should look like. Now, obviously this team is not maxed out at all right now, and so frankly, I'm not even going to try and make this work. I don't think it will work. I don't think the Allure is even built out at all real quick, but this is the team that I would use and that I would key in and trust to take you up to a very consistent stage 20, maybe even beyond, up to 25, quite comfortably, to be honest. Fire Knight clear. Let me just check the Allure's gear real quick. And ooh, so the Allure is actually geared up at least a little bit. She's not the fastest in the world because her boots haven't been rolled up. She needs more accuracy as well. Again, you need 10 accuracy for every dungeon stage that you're clearing. So if we go up to stage 20, we'd be looking at needing 200 accuracy. But yeah, I'd highly recommend that Allure goes up to level 60 on this account. She literally just solves the Fire Knight dungeon boss for you, pretty much. Or she just like 75% of the heavy lifting, and then Cold Heart will do the other 25%, as long as you can get them to the boss with a old reliable wave killer, or wave controller in this case, I suppose, like Husk. The Cold Heart is actually built out just fine. Right now, she just needs that extra 5% crit from her masteries, and then she's kind of good to go with the build that she's in, provided we can increase her accuracy as well some more with accessories, things like an accuracy banner, those kind of things, right? Okay, so the final general to-do list for Mr. Curious Sage, forgot your account name for just a second there, the final to-do list looks a little bit something like this. At least get the 5% crit masteries found up on your Husk, because right now he's at 93% crit rate, getting 98% is close enough for now. You're progressing, so you might be upgrading his gear pretty soon anyway. Don't sweat too much about it. And get him up to level 60 and get him skill booked as soon as you can, ideally in the next CVC. Husk is such an incredible champ. He's also going to help you into Hydra, which we're going to touch on in just a second as well. So that should be like the to-do number 1. To-do number 2 is going to be to take your Cold Heart up to level 60 as quickly as you can and work on getting your accuracy mostly up to at least 200, and then just focus on crit damage. That's pretty much it, man. Get your Cold Heart pumping, dude. The Cold Heart is going to unlock Spider's Den and Fire Knight on this account. It's going to be incredible. Then I'd go ahead and take the Allure up to at least level 50 and see if she can do the job for you into Fire Knight up to at least stage 20 at a level 50 Allure. It might be a little bit challenging to hit the accuracy stats required without an accuracy banner for how early game your account is. And so those are the champs that I would take up next there. And then you can also, after that, I'd say probably a little bit after that, you can consider going back for Stag Knight and catching this guy up a little bit. Because again, this is a great champion, one of the best epics in the game for just taking on basically all dungeon content. He's going to be an amazing help going into things like Doom Tower waves, all of that stuff, you know. Stag Knight is really just a great all-rounder to build out now in the early game, and that includes getting him bucked up to increase the land rate of these all-important decrease attack and decrease defense debuffs, the decrease attack being absolutely integral to shoring up your Ice Golem clear and not getting caught off guard without just a random one-shot every now and then, you know. Now, you were a little bit curious about Hydra teams as well and what your Hydra squad is looking like. Honestly, you're kind of missing a lot of things to be ready to like start thinking about Hydra just yet. You need like a good reliable provoke champion, you need a good reliable hex placing champion if you can, which you do actually have that base covered with Marinix, at least. In fact, you've got some pretty good damage dealers. I think that Marinix and Ninja are going to be some pretty damn good starters for your damage dealers going into Hydra, mostly because Marinix is placing the Hex debuff on an AoE, which is quite important to bring into Hydra. Very effective. And of course, Ninja and his mass HP burns is going to be great as well. He also has the advantage of placing Perfect Veil on himself, which helps to counter the Head of Torment. And so Marinix and Ninja are both great and are good to go, and Husk is going to be very strong indeed as well. This is leaning a Hydra team for the early game that's very heavy on damage. Of course, Ninja, Marinix, Husk, they're all just kind of damage dealers into Hydra. Husk because he's dealing enemy max HP, but at least you're off to a great start in terms of pumping damage. That said, you're lacking a Provoker champion that has to be on the team to constantly have the Head of Decay provoked. You cannot let the Head of Decay get a turn without it being provoked. It's just going to be a disaster against Hydra that way, so keep an eye out for a Provoker. You also want to keep an eye out for the likes of AoE decrease speed champions against the Hydra heads. You want them all to be slowed as much as you possibly can and as often as you possibly can throughout the fight. You're also lacking an AoE decrease, an AoE block buffs debuffer style champion. An example of which is good old Ostrox Boneglaive of the Undead Hordes faction Void Epic. These are quite tough champions to come by, but a block buffs debuffer is going to help you out quite a bit. They're not absolutely necessary. If you have HP burners on your team, then you can circumvent the poison cloud buff that the Hydra heads are going to be giving themselves. And that is a possible answer to the Poison Cloud mechanic in Hydra, but it's much nicer if you can just block buffs, and that's it. And it also prevents the Head of Mischief from stealing your buffs as well, so a good block buffs debuffer on your team is just a great entry-level tool to bring into Hydra. And would you know it, an incredible additional block buffs style champion that you can also bring into Hydra as well is good old Ugo, which you can get for free by using my beginner promo link down below, by the way, at the top of the video description box. So make sure to go ahead and sign up to it using that link for the best possible chance at appearing in this series just now. Because the least I can do is offer you a free account takeover, you know, if you go ahead and deign to bless me by using that promo link down below and getting your hands on those 4 free epic champions, including Ugo. But yeah, as for the this account as it stands right now, I wouldn't worry too much about getting involved in Hydra just yet. Just keep an eye out for those kind of champs, right? A good reliable provoker, a good block buffs debuffer, good decreased speed champions, and also honestly some good likes of epic and legendary, just pure healers and revivers. Having at least one of those on your beginner Hydra team when you're getting started into normal Hydra is going to be quite crucial as well. Just upgrade your champs real quick in the Guardian Ring. I feel like you're a caretaker, man, so go ahead and jump on that real quick. So if I was to start building out a Hydra team just based on what we have right now, Dazdek and his debuff removal and his healing, probably a little bit better than Gorgorab, to be honest, even though, let's be real, we're probably going to be using both of them because we just don't have that many options going for us right now on the account. He's also going to increase all ally attack and all battles as well. And so then we can throw in Ninja, Marinix, and Husk as just like 3 decent damage dealers. But then we're really kind of lacking utility on this team. So I don't know, man. I can't see this going so hot. Then we can also throw in maybe Apothecary or something just for the increased speed, but realistically this account is just not ready to be taking on Hydra just yet. And I'd stress to bear in mind that really Hydra opens up on most people's accounts like 3 or 4 months too early, man. I don't know why the game gives you Hydra access so early on your account, man. Honestly, Apothecary might be a little bit of a disaster even. Maybe Deacon would just be better. I don't even know, man. We have no way to protect our buffs. We have no way to block enemy debuffs. We have no way to taunt the Head of Decay. So it's all a little bit rough, man. Okay, so I'll tell you what. I'm gonna leave this one here, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all did enjoy. And hopefully I did a little bit of something to help y'alls out in your own dungeons as well as helping out Mr. Curious Sage and his account that is taking over very nicely indeed. I hope you know what tools you're looking out for now, man. And yeah, you can make some great progression on this account. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all did enjoy, and I'm gonna catch all of y'all just a tad bit later, man.